When I was in eighth grade, I went out for the basketball team. I was already 6 feet tall and didn't have a lot of skill, a lot of coordination. But I thought I'll go out for the basketball team because I enjoyed playing and I'd never known what it's like to be on a team. I'd been a wrestler for a couple of years. So I went out for basketball and I made the team and I was third string. So I went to 2 practices and then did what, any kid would do. I mustered up all my energy and all my strength and I quit because I wasn't good enough. Nobody likes being picked last, right? Third string? I didn't even know they had a third string on an 8th grade basketball team. I'm Zach. This is The Average Christian, a project simply about what it means to have a relationship with God, how to live that out in practical everyday terms. And we're talking about Christian accountability too. This one fits into that category of accountability. How many of you have thought, I'm not good enough, I don't have this talent, or whatever the case is, and you gave up and you quit? How many of us think about being a part of a larger whole? I did not think about that when I quit the team. I didn't think about teamwork. I didn't think about what I could bring to the team. I just gave up and I quit because I didn't have enough talent and I didn't feel like it would be appreciated. And I felt like I was disrespected. All that stuff flies in. Same thing happens a lot of times with church. And I hear a lot of people complain about church. And then I hear a lot of people dismiss it as well. The truth is, if you have a problem with your congregation or at your church, you might be the problem. In Ephesians chapter 4, I want to read with you here. He's talking about putting people in different positions with different talents and different abilities. He gave gave the apostles, prophets, evangelists, shepherds, and teachers to do what? To equip the saints, all right? Because there's a bigger, larger purpose that I don't know that we think about enough. We think about, I hate to use the JFK quote because it's so popular, but it's ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. So flip that around into congregational or church mentality. And is that my attitude? A lot of people are complaining about the preacher, complaining about the elders, complaining about this person or that person, whatever the case is. Where we live, there's a lot of congregations and a lot of churches in a small area. And so if you get tired of this one, you can move over here. And if you get tired of that one, you can move over here. And there's much more to say about that. But the question is, do I see the need to be a part of this larger whole, to fit into this, to build this up? And do I see that responsibility as well? I have to take that responsibility serious. For me, it can become really easy to forget about that because I'm in sort of a leadership role. I'm the preacher, and so the preacher's expected to be there. And a lot of times I can start thinking about, well, this person doesn't offer this, that, or the other, or doesn't do, and have those complaints. I want to work against that and give you a solution. And I want you to check that attitude. I hope that I will as well. And I know I have much more work to do. The idea here, giving all of these people, is to equip the saints. And that's not a special kind of Christian who's dead and gone. That's every Christian. Equip the saints for the work of ministry. That's serving. God wanted to equip us to build, to serve, for building up the body of Christ until we all attain to the unity of the faith and the knowledge of the Son of God, to mature manhood, to the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. We want to be filled up and completely like Christ. And at this time, the complete New Testament has not been revealed yet. So you still have people like here in this context that are called prophets that are still revealing the truth. And the idea is that once we have this faith, this standard, the New Testament completed, it will help build us up in this fullness of Christ. Well, the same thing really goes today. It might all be revealed now. There's no need for prophets anymore. Everything that God has wanted to get to us, He has. But how many of us know it? I mean, do you really know? So the still building up to this unity of, or this unit of faith would be the better way to put it, so that we may no longer be children. How many of you feel like this? No longer be children, tossed to and fro by the waves and carried about by every wind of doctrine, by human cunning and craftiness and deceitful schemes. And there's so much that comes at us by way of information. And if I don't have that maturity, if we don't have that maturity, you see congregations changing the way that they believe, changing what they teach because they're not grounded in this many times, or hopefully it's because of growth and they're starting to realize what the truth is. Whatever the case, rather speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in every way into him who is the head, into Christ. We're growing to be more like Christ, from whom the whole body joined and held together by every joint with which is equipped. That's all of us. All of us are important. 1 Corinthians 12 makes the comparison of body parts to members of the congregation. And it tells us that everybody's important, and nobody can look at anybody else and say, I don't need you because you're a hand, or I don't need you because you're not a hand. And even the parts of us that seem less attractive or get less attention are still necessary and useful. So here it's talked about we are these joints held together by every joint, which with which it is equipped when, notice this, please notice this phrase right here. I want Clayton to put this up on the screen, just this phrase, when each part is working properly. See, the problem may not be the whole, the whole of the congregation. The problem may be you, because you're not working properly, because you're not investing. I remember going to camp, and I may have used this before, so pardon me if I have, but I remember going to camp every year, and I couldn't wait to get there because I was looking forward to being built up, because that was my time to get to be set on fire, and it worked. And then for about a week or two after that, same thing, and then the downhill slide again. And every year I came back, and I finally realized that I should be showing up to give. I should be building myself up all year so that when I show up, I have something to offer everyone else. I wonder if we treat worship like that, or any time when we get together as brethren. Am I going in there with this mentality that I'm going to build up, that I'm going to serve? Every member, when it's working properly, makes the body grow so that it builds itself up in love. And yes, it is. I talk on here all the time about the individual relationship we have, but there is also this collective, the church, that is so important. And everybody needs for me to be working properly. I need you to be working properly to build this up, because as one man said before, the church is going to heaven. And the only question is whether I'm going to be a part of it. So I want to encourage you not to look everywhere else, the problems with those people, or how you wish the scenario is. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to invest? And are you working properly? We want to thank you for being with us today. Those of you on YouTube, if you have not already, please subscribe, hit this button below. And if you want to see what we released last time, it's in this corner. If you want to see what YouTube recommends, it's over here. For those of you listening to us on podcast, thank you as well. Please subscribe, rate, and review. If you want to support this work, you can go to theaveragechristian.net/Patreon and become a partner with us in this online mission. Please share this with other people.